Well, good morning and welcome to lesson 19 of A Course in Miracles using the White Edition, Book B, the workbook. So lesson 19, pretty straightforward, following on from I'm not alone in experiencing the effects of my seeing. Lesson 18. Lesson 19 is I am not alone in experiencing the effects of my thoughts. So I'll just get into it. It's a pretty simple lesson. The idea for today is obviously the reason why you're seeing does not affect you alone. Right? The idea for today is obviously the reason why you're seeing does not affect you alone. Obviously. You will notice that at times the ideas related to thinking precede those related to perceiving, while at other times the order is reversed. The reason is that the order does not actually matter. Thinking and its results are really simultaneous, for cause and effect are never separate. Right? Cause and effect are never separate. It's like, keeping your finger on your nose, taking responsibility for what I think I see. Today we are again emphasizing the fact that minds are joined. Right? We're not separate, we are one. The idea that there's a we, a you and a me, and this whole idea is like, it's easy to fall into that trap, but it takes great mind training and determination to push through the barriers to the recognition that we are actually one. Right? Having that as a concept, we're all one, having that as a concept, it's never going to work here in this world. A concept's fine, but it's not what you need. It's not what the course is aiming at. It's to bring about an experience that will show you, that will prove to you, that will irrevocably and irreversibly change the nature of your not only perception but understanding of self, right? That we are one. Right? Concepts are nothing, experience is everything. Say that 100 times. Concepts are nothing, experience is everything. Right? Today we are emphasizing the fact that minds are joined. This is rarely a wholly welcome idea at first, since it seems to carry with it an enormous sense of responsibility and may even be regarded as an invasion of privacy. Yet it is a fact that there are no private thoughts. Despite your initial resistance to this idea, you will yet understand that it must be true if salvation is possible at all. And salvation must be possible because it is the will of God. Pardon me. The minute or so of mind searching which today's exercises require are to be undertaken with eyes closed. The idea is to be repeated first, and then the mind should be carefully searched for the thoughts it contains at that time. As you consider each one, name it in terms of the central person or theme it contains. Holding it in your mind as you do so, say, I'm not alone in experiencing the effects of this thought about blank. Pardon me. The requirement of as much indiscriminateness as possible in selecting subjects for the practice period should be quite familiar to you by now and will no longer be repeated each day, although it will occasionally be included as a reminder. Do not forget, however, that random selection of subjects for all practice periods remains essential throughout. Lack of order in this connection will ultimately make the recognition of lack of order in miracles meaningful to you. And if you're reading the text, there's no order of difficulty in miracles is one of the principles of miracles right in the very beginning. And the idea that a miracle is a shift in consciousness, is a change in perception. Right? So there is no order of difficulties. What we are dealing with and what we are looking at in its entirety is not fixing a world out there, healing a world that we think is all screwed up and everything else like that. We're healing our minds that think about it in that way. Right? We're healing the idea that I think that there is a world in any regard whatsoever and that there is a Dave participating in it, reading lessons and doing everything else. in order to transcend, if you like, or transform that world, to transcend the temporal plane entirely and have that experience of oneness. Right. So if you haven't read the text, I mean, in the lessons, even in the workbook lessons, Jesus says many times, an experience is required, an experience is necessary. You will have an experience. You will experience this, experience that. Everything is experience. Right. This is not something that you just study and then put down and have a whole head full of bunkum about spiritual gobbledygook of everything. You have to have an experience, right? And that comes about by being willing to be wrong about everything I think, right? I'm willing to be wrong. I'm willing to be exposed. I'm willing to be completely vulnerable, open, and allow the Holy Spirit or my higher guide to reveal to me the next step, reveal to me what is in my own best interests and therefore in the best interests of the whole. So, all right, so where are we at here? Lack of water, blah, blah, blah. Apart from the as-needed application of today's idea, at least 3 practice periods are required, shortening the length of time involved if necessary. Do not attempt more than 4. So 3 practice periods today, morning, noon, and night. And just for a minute or so, search your mind with eyes closed. I'm not alone in experiencing the effects of this thought about getting bitten by a mosquito. I'm not alone in experiencing the effects of this thought about holding this book. I'm not alone in experiencing the effects of this thought about the traffic noise behind me, etc. For about a minute, right? And then forget about it, put it away, unless you need it during the day, right? If you have a moment during the day where something happens and you lose your shit, that's it. So, all right, then tomorrow I'm determined to see lesson 20. All right, so cool stuff, really cool stuff. All right, so experience, just you can't prepare for it. You can't, like these experiences prepare, these lessons prepare the way for you to have an experience, for you to transform and transcend, in order to have an experience, but they can't prepare you for the experience itself. So, all right, very cool.